What's going on?
I don't know. It's I haven't seen anything like this anywhere.
Really?
Well, yes, I haven't traveled a lot. I've been to Dubai, but this is something else.
Miroslav, how did this idea come to you to visit the most sanctioned country in the world? Horrible country.
Yeah, what an idea that was. I like, because it's not that easy, but it is easy in the end. The Western propaganda, which I love so much about Russia, about, you know, that this most evil country in the world and the biggest aggressor and such a poor people and, you know, whatever goes on now, that I said, hey, if this is true, I want to see it to believe it.
You decided to check it by yourself.
I decided to check it
and
by
to
myself.
see everything with your own eyes.
Exactly, because if somebody says something to me about anything, I believe it until I see it.
Great.
And even after that, I still have to keep checking if what I see it's really true. It's not that, you know, sometimes what you see is not really what is true. You have to, you know, keep watching it for a while.
By the way, you look happy.
Yes,
Yes,
because I met you, and now my life could end.
This is the coldest May in the history of Mays, and I have only one question. What foreign tourists, especially European tourists, are doing here in this sanctioned, poor and cold country like Russia? By the way, my name is Marina and this is channel Made in Russland, and I have a great surprise for you today, my dear viewers, because my friend and my subscriber from Czech Republic, his name is Miroslav, he came to Moscow, he came to Russia, not only Moscow, and I have a great opportunity to meet him right near the Kremlin walls, and I invite you to join our walking tour around Moscow. I'm so interested, what is he thinking about my country? This is our sacred place, Eternal Fire, and I think I see my friend right here with Russian flag and Soviet flag. Miroslav.
Oh, who's that?
Nice to see you here.
Oh, very nice to see you.
Are you cold or are you shocked?
I feel like an Iceman already.
You feel like
frozen and in shock.
Why?
Frozen because it's been so hot, like in Sahara Desert for the last 3 days. And shocked from what I've seen for the last week or so.
Will you tell me something?
Yes, what I want to say, it's maybe not for your viewers to hear.
Really? We will
no,
try.
Actually, it is for your viewers to hear and to see.
Okay. Miroslav, I have a very touching question for you. Were you scared before your trip to Russia? Because I know it's your third time of visiting Russia, but 2 times was far away, long years ago, I would say.
Yes.
And now the situation is different, and many haters write me that we live in a harsh situation, in harsh country, in totalitarian country where Putin controls everything and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I can confirm that, definitely.
Does it look like North Korea, our country?
See the 2 KGB agents behind me? They control every step I do.
Where?
yeah.
People
See?
from KGB?
Yeah, they are invisible. You cannot see them, but they are
They're like
everywhere.
flies. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they turn into flies. They sit on your shoulder, and if you do something wrong, they will let you know.
Never come to Russia.
Never come to Russia, please. No.
We are kidding, for
Just
sure, guys.
kidding, of course we're kidding. Because if it was so bad, I wouldn't be here. It's yes, we have these beautiful sanctions against, the Western Europe has these beautiful sanctions against Russia, which in the end helped Russia a lot.
Yeah,
From what
for
I've
sure.
heard, I already spoke to local people about this situation.
Oh, guys, it's a pity. Several days have passed after the celebration of Victory Day, but Red Square is still closed, and we have no chance to get there with Miroslav. By the way, have you watched my videos about
yes.
North Korea?
I wish I had a Russian passport so I could visit,
North
do
Korea.
this 5.
Here is the link.
It's only for Russian citizens, right? You have to have a
sure.
Russian passport. So
Let's talk about you.
if I could buy it now, tomorrow I would fly to see it. But unfortunately, I am not a Russian citizen, and
Unfortunately.
Well,
Unfortunately. Sounds good.
Unfortunately, for this trip to
North Korea.
to visit this 5-day trip, I watched the videos. I recommend it to anybody. Yeah, it could look like because there are other YouTubers, maybe one more, who went there. There are videos. He has
It's
no
popular country among Russian YouTubers now.
And if I could go there just to see it, to believe it, I would go tomorrow. Really.
Great. But okay, very relevant question, Miroslav. How to apply for a Russian visa in the Czech Republic? I was sure it was not impossible, because for us now it's very difficult to make a Schengen visa, and as for Czech visa, it's not realistic at all. How did you manage to get it?
It's actually, fortunately for us, in the European Union and perhaps some other countries around the world, it's not that hard. It depends on how the Russian Federation feels about particular countries, if they want their citizens to come over or not.
Does it mean we love Czech Republic in Russia?
It looks like, because unlike our government, your government treats everybody nicely. Our government,
I hope so.
that's a different story. But getting back to this visa story, check your embassy, Russian embassy in your particular country's website. Go to visa, and there should be an electronic visa. And there is a link with a list of countries that are eligible for this electronic visa, for example. Yes, you can apply for normal visa. It takes longer time. Perhaps it's better through an agency, travel agency, for example, to receive that for extra charge. But this electronic visa, you can apply yourself if your country is listed there, which Czech Republic and Slovakia, Poland, and all European countries and worldwide countries are. Not all of them are there, but there are some countries. And the application is easy. You need some data to fill in from your passport. You need to take a picture with your cell phone and picture of your passport, so that application inside that website will read it. You fill out some data. If you don't have everything, you can save the form, the application, and then come back a few days later, whatever. You will need to have pre-plan the trip in Russia, so you put in information where you will stay, what kind of hotel.
You have to book hotel tickets, yes, everywhere.
The trick is that you don't even need to have a reservation. You just check on your website, like booking.com, or there are 2 very good Russian websites for the hotels, hostels, pensions, you name it. Everything is there. Even in booking.com there are many Russian hotels and hostels and
So you don't have to pay for a hotel beforehand.
You don't have to really pay.
Just book.
But you need to put something in the application. So, for example, you go to Leningrad, to St. Petersburg, and Moscow, and Volgograd. You find whatever the hotel is, you put the address, the name, you get the contact phone number from their website, you put it there, but I think it's not even required, the phone contact, but I did. I already had the reservation before. So you choose one of whatever the hotel is, you put it in there, and some family information, some family contact information, so that just in case something would happen to you while visiting Russia, so the authorities have somebody to contact in your country. That's even more important than the hotels, but you need to put some information there. You will see on your application. You will go through application, you see some information you still don't have. You can save the form and come back a few days later, just like I did, when I have this information. Once you're finished, you pay a certain charge, and once the payment...
Secret?
It's a top secret information. No, I was charged because we cannot pay directly to Russia. I paid in, what is not Saudi Arabia, the other country is United Arab Emirates, yeah, and they have this currency called dirhams. And I was charged by this pay gate in dirhams. So it was like 190 dirhams. I think it's around 1,200 Czech crowns, which is $50. I think it's 50.
Okay, about $50.
50 or
Not more.
$55 maybe, yeah, in US dollars. And this visa is valid for 16 days. Actually, the visa is valid from date of issue, which came to me in 2 working days in my mail. Yeah, the visa you will receive in mail. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to go to embassy. You don't have to do anything. Just fill out the application, pay the fee, and you will receive it in your mail. And from the day from the day that you receive it, it's valid for 60 days. So you have 2 months to enter the Russian Federation, and from the first day of entry, you have 16 days to get out, to leave the country. So it's valid for 16 days. That includes the first date of entry, and it will tell you in your mail on that visa application, on that actual visa form, the date, the exact date you have to leave. Yeah?
Okay, lucky you are. Welcome to Russia. It's my favorite expression.
Yeah.
And so when I listen to you, it really seems so easy peasy to get visa.
Actually, it is. I thought it's more complicated because when I was in Russia back in 2013, there was no electronic visa yet. It was a long time to go, and there is, and it always is a classic way to get the visa, apply through a certain process, because when you want to visit Russia for more than 16 days, then you have to apply for the regular visa, which takes a longer time, for which I would recommend in any countries. I think you have these travel agencies that could do it for you. It takes extra charge, but it's without any hassle, any nerves, any problems. I did that 12 years ago and even 15 years ago when I first went to Russia. I gave my money and passport to a travel agency, and they did everything for me. And I don't know, in 2-3 weeks we got the passports back together with my friend. With the visa, we paid extra charge, but with no problems.
It's way better, because I know as a travel agent, it's way better. Give us money, please.
Yeah.
Let's go forward.
I have no problem paying extra charge if somebody does this thing for me, because it's a pain in the butt, to be polite, to go through the visa process by yourself. Same with the Chinese visa. You want to travel to China, for example, as a foreigner, give your passport to travel agency, pay extra charge, you get the visa with no problems. When I traveled to China before COVID, we went to Prague 4 times. Spending 4 working days, back and forth, because there was something wrong inside the application, because one word was written incorrectly.
In Chinese.
In Chinese, and we had Chinese people sending us an invitation letter in Chinese, and the embassy said, no, the letter is wrong. How could a letter from China, original China letter, be wrong?
You know, the China is our friend.
Yeah, but these are our friends. This is just, clerics like everywhere.
Yeah, for sure.
All around the world. So it's better to give it to travel agency.
Yes.
You pay extra charge, but you get...
I fully agree with you. Let's go further.
Okay, so...
Oh guys, I have so many questions to my Czech friend, but he's filming and filming and filming. I think he's surprised by the sightseeings of Moscow, because Moscow is amazing city, and welcome to Russia. Miroslav, and can you tell us about the attitude of just common Czech citizens, their attitude to Russia? Because we live in a very difficult historical time, and the attitude can be different. I know that you adore Russia. That's why it's the third time you are here. But what about other citizens?
Others, yeah. I wouldn't say I really adore Russia. But I'm just curious tourist. I like to travel.
You like Russia, okay?
Yeah, okay. Well, in this, let's say, in this propaganda that goes on in the Western world, in Europe, and it's been going on for years and years. In Czechoslovakia, it's been for 35 years, the anti-Russian propaganda, but especially in the last 10 years, it just increased, and it's been increasing in the last 3 years. It's definitely over the top by the puppets, I would say, in power. So the Western propaganda wants us to see Russia and Russian people and Russian nations, because there's not just Russians living in this territory, as evil, as
enemies.
As enemies, and then Russia should be crushed and split into small territories for the West to control and get the resources and whatever. So, and they've tried throughout the hundreds of years. They've tried many times, and we already know what happened.
Thanks for understanding.
We know the result, but in these times of big propaganda, some people believe that propaganda and are got really brainwashed. I could say from my own experience, some people they don't care, whatever everybody says. I have my own life.
They live their own life.
Yes. And some people don't believe this propaganda, because many Czechoslovakians traveled a long time ago, before 1989, even in the 1990s, even in the 2000s, even this year. I know many people that have traveled to Russian Federation this year, for example.
Really?
Last year, since 2022, there have been people, and there still are people traveling in organized tours to Russia, to Kaliningrad, to St. Petersburg, to Moscow, before the Crimean airports were closed, even to Crimea, to Vladivostok, to take a Trans-Siberian train, a railway train, to see what the life is like under sanctions, for example.
And what is like under sanctions?
From what I could see, I don't know what the sanctions really are or mean for Russia, because I don't see...
Everywhere sanctions.
I seen the sanctions.
Don't you notice it?
No, I've seen...
All these are sanctions.
Yes, I've seen sanctions like I couldn't believe. The supermarkets are full of goods, full of food, full of groceries.
And delicacies.
Delicacies, full of alcohol. You can see Western brands. You can see brands that you cannot find in...
And prices.
And the prices.
I have
to laugh at this, because you see the prices that should be 5 times higher under sanctions and under economic crisis, but they're like half the prices compared to Czechoslovakia. And I know now we can start this huge discussion comparing also the incomes. That's another story. I don't want to go to that, but let's say that, like I noticed also on the internet and on the internet conversations and all the communities that discussions that you извините, that people are also always not always, but are split into 2 groups: totally against and totally for, because the propaganda does this. That people that are so easy to get brainwashed, they don't like to see the real stuff. They believe the propaganda. Okay, that's fine.
You can't imagine how many haters accuse me in propaganda of Russian lifestyle.
Yes,
wow.
of course. I've read some of the comments in your videos as well, and say these people they have never traveled outside of their towns. Maybe outside of their beds, they never...
in my opinion, all haters have nothing to do and they sit in toilet somewhere, I'm sorry.
It is true, it is true. I've seen these, I've met these people as well, not in their toilets, but they have traveled to maximum into throughout the Western world. They've never visited any other countries, and they would never go because their brains are closed. They have this tunnel vision into their own world, and I say, let's keep them there. I'm not going to argue with anybody. Everybody has a right to their own opinion, unless you start to force me into your world. And today, to which I say no. Sorry, thank you, thanks, but no thanks.
We say about these people, you know what? They live in narrow-minded environment. Something like that.
This is the right expression, yes, the narrow-minded. So, yeah, people can believe to anything they want to. You can believe to anything you want to. I'm not going to force you to any other opinion or idea or view. But my view is that, why not go? You check your embassy for visa, get it, and come and see for yourself. And if you don't like it, okay, no problem.
Mm-hmm. Get your visa and welcome to Russia.
Welcome to Russia. Because you have...
Okay, guys, we are so talkative, you see, we can't stop, and it's good for you. For me, it's very good information, very useful information. Yes, Miroslav? And I have a very touching question. If you don't want to answer, don't answer, okay? Let's go.
Okay, we'll see.
You have planned a tour around Russia, not only in Moscow, because we know that Moscow is not Russia, like Paris is not France, like London is not Great Britain.
Like Prague is not Czech Republic, really. You have to travel outside of Prague to see things.
So that's why you have planned just a tour around different cities and towns maybe. But how much did it cost for you?
Okay, to be honest, I took my decision was to this first trip, during this period of time, to take it as a low cost trip. So as cheap as possible. Mm-hmm. It is possible. You can spend $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 to enjoy 1 week in Russia. In Moscow, St. Petersburg, and even more. Yes, of course.
1, 2, 3 million.
It depends on your budget, on your pocket, on your account, whatever. But I took it as cheap as possible to see, and so I chose a trip, also the cheapest way possible, which from us in Czechoslovakia is through Poland. Take a bus or train to Gdańsk, come by bus to Kaliningrad, which is already Russian territory.
The first Russian city was Kaliningrad. Do you like it?
Oh yes, I was surprised actually. It's very interesting to see these contrasts when you come by bus from a nice modern highway all the way from the border.
You can notice all the changes in nature, in environment.
And also in infrastructure, because first the bus enters the city of Kaliningrad from the highway, from the modern street, modern highway. Everything is like new built, but then you enter the city and you back in the 1990s, where these outskirts of this city of Kaliningrad haven't been touched by modern, let's say, reconstruction and everything, because it takes time and money. But the further down the road, the deeper and deeper into the city you go, the modern and newer it becomes.
By the way, I have video on my channel about Kaliningrad. Here is the link.
Yeah.
Don't forget to watch it.
Definitely.
It's my work, you know.
Oh yeah, of course.
Sorry for interrupting you.
No problem. So this is one. For us in Central Europe, there are two ways to get into Russia. Either direct fly, not direct. There are no direct flights, but you can fly from your country, from your main airport to Istanbul, or to Turkey, or to Baku, Azerbaijan, and then to Moscow. Mm-hmm. And you can, but you are able. Everybody should be able to buy the tickets all the way to Moscow. So, like for example, when I looked for tickets for airplane to fly, I looked for Vienna to Moscow, and it showed me with transfer in Istanbul or in Baku or in Yerevan, for example. Or you can fly through Belgrade, Serbia.
All our friendly countries.
Or the friendly countries, yes. If you're from Europe, of course, then if you're from different continents, you have to find your own way. But for us, the cheapest way is to take a bus or train to Gdańsk.
And go via Poland.
Via Poland. And from Gdańsk, there is a bus line that goes 4 times a day to Kaliningrad and back. So it's a regular bus line, nothing secret.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, a regular Polish bus line. You can take a private small minivan with some private companies.
But
also.
it's more expensive, yes?
It costs a little bit more. But this bus line, it's 170 zlotych in Polish money. And you arrive in Kaliningrad. Yes, there is a border check. You have to have your passport, your visa, everything ready. And you get through that, you arrive in Kaliningrad, and from Kaliningrad then you can fly anywhere within the Russian Federation.
By Russian airlines.
So,
sure.
And there are many Russian airlines, you will find them on the internet, even Google will show you a list of Russian airlines, like Aeroflot is the most famous, but then you have Pobeda, Russia,
Low-coster Pobeda, yes.
Smart Avia, for example, which is the one I took because it was the cheapest at the time of my ticket purchase. I booked a ticket from Kaliningrad to Petersburg, to St. Petersburg, so the budget, my total budget, including
yes, total budget,
just for travel and for booking and for paying accommodation is total. It's 15,000 Czech crowns, which means
I don't understand the Czech crowns.
100. Let me see. $1,000 is that's not even 1,000. $500 is 13,000. No, it's 11. So it's about let's round it up to $600.
$600,
which includes
tickets and accommodations.
Yeah,
it's about $500.
$1,000 is 23,000 Czech crowns. So 15,000 is $700. Let's say 700, because I booked hostels instead of hotels. They are much cheaper, but not so comfortable. Sure. You share a room with 2-3 people sometimes.
But it doesn't matter.
But you can book in a hostel. You can book a double room only for 2 people. But I travel alone now, so that went past me. So cheap tickets, the train, the cheapest airplane tickets I could find at the time, like a month ago, and the cheapest accommodation, because my plan was to spend money not on accommodation but on the
excursions,
on the activities,
yes,
on the trips, on the visits, on the museums.
I'm totally gobsmacked. You know, $700 for 16 days trip in Russia. Not so cheap, such a cheap country.
Yeah, but that's the money I paid in advance for the tickets and accommodation. But then I also have my traveling money. Another $500 I took as a traveling money for food, for some tickets, for public transportation, which is the cheapest in Europe. I cannot believe the prices of public transportation in Russia, in Kaliningrad, in Petersburg, in Moscow.
Yeah, it's very cheap. Really.
It's unbelievable how cheap.
Now we're going to take a metro, and you will see the ticket fee.
Yeah.
It's about it's less than $1.
It's really unbelievable. I couldn't believe that. Even you have to realize that Kaliningrad is a city of maybe 800,000 people. You go to St. Petersburg, that's a 7 million people city. You go to Moscow, it's 20 million people city, and the prices of public transportation are almost the same. I couldn't believe that in Moscow I paid the same money as in St. Petersburg. It's like
a little bit more.
Okay, maybe few rubles, which is like $50, 50 cents.
Miroslav, I think we are lost.
Yes, now we got lost because I talked too much.
Sorry, guys.
Small picture.
Oh, finally, we know where are we. This is Varvarka Street with lots of monasteries and ancient churches. Yeah, we decided to take metro and to visit shopping mall. Let's go! I like Moscow metro because it's clean, cheap and very convenient.
Yeah.
Our batteries are low, yes, and we decided to use the special points for charging our phones and cameras. It's very comfortable and it's absolutely everywhere in all kinds of transport. You can charge your phone in buses and trolley buses, yeah. But in some carriages, it's very convenient to charge your phone or camera. You see, it's just in your seat. Well, I told you before that our metro stations are perfect. You see the reaction of foreigners. Wow, I like his reactions. And if you still haven't watched my videos from Moscow Underground, you have to do it right now. Here is the link. And we are going up. And we are not going to rename our stations and our museums. If it's Ukrainian, let it be Ukrainian. So, and all the pictures here are about Ukraine. Why not? Our Soviet Republic, one of our Soviet republics.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. This would never happen now in Czechoslovakia because Czech government would rename everything. But
no doubt.
Maybe to Kievskaya because they are friends with the
Kievskaya, but not
Kiev
to Moskovskaya.
No, to Kiev Nazi regime. They are very friendly to them.
Yeah, let's go up. We're talking about the design of stations.
The design of stations is just unbelievable. I know that you must know that the subway, the Moscow metro or subway, was first opened in 1935. Which means,
absolutely right.
Which means there was, what, 90 years now? It's this 90th anniversary. It's 80th anniversary of the great patriot of the victory in World War II in Europe, and 90th anniversary of the Moscow subway opening, 1935 already.
He's my guide today.
And so if you visit Russia and you arrive in Moscow, then the first trip you take is through the subway stations, not through the city streets.
Don't take taxis.
You wait.
Subway is wonderful.
Okay, you wait for the rain. When rain comes, go to subway stations. It will take you maybe a week to visit all of them.
Yeah, absolutely right.
You better watch some YouTube videos from Marina to get you some tour guide, to give you ideas.
I have a lot of videos about
you could get
metro.
you could get lost within one day.
Woo. And where are we now? Let's see.
You need Kievskaya.
He's talking Czech.
Jsme na kijevském nákupním centru. Kijevský univerzální magazín, da?
No, European shopping mall.
Evropský, takže to je evropské nákupní centrum.
It's so nice to hear.
Uvidíme, co nás ještě čeká, protože tady už jako nemám, co bych já k tomu dodal.
To hang out a little bit in shopping center, yes? Would you like to see
Oh, everything.
how poor Russia
I
lives?
want to see the sanctions and how poor
Sanctions in
the
work.
in Russia and how poor the people are. Yes, I know we are in Moscow, but I've seen other towns and cities, and I cannot wait for seeing the sanctions in Moscow.
Okay, 27,000. I remind you, my dear viewers, unprecedented sanctions. Let's go. It's really gripping for me to know, to find out whether the expectations of Miroslav coincided with reality. Let's ask him about this topic. Miroslav, my favorite topic, expectations versus reality. What can you say?
I don't know where to start. I didn't expect anything because, you know, everywhere I go, I usually set my mind to, hey, don't expect anything, so you are not disappointed when you get there.
Yeah, it's
you can
great.
only be positively surprised.
It's true.
So I said, yes, I had some information and I was here 12 or 13 years ago, but this is
What
something...
about reality? Okay, let's talk about reality.
But the reality is that really I am in a shock how the things have changed in those last 12 years in Russia. Well, I don't remember much from that previous trip. Only that it feels now that this is a different planet now, different level.
It's getting better and better.
Better and better, definitely. Even in small towns like Kaliningrad, for example. Even in towns like Petersburg and in Moscow, of course, that's another planet, you could say. But the things have improved so much that I cannot say anything negative nowadays. It's really a really positive surprise.
Sounds very good.
Really in a positive shock.
We don't want negative things.
In many ways. In many ways. So, yes, anybody who wants to see it, to believe it, come and visit Russia. That's all I can say.
Thanks a lot for coming to us in this very strange, very insane period of life, period of our history. And I think we deserve a cup of coffee. Yeah?
Oh, definitely.
What do you make of that?
And a большой стакан of vodka.
Oh, he's almost Russian already.
Yes, and you can learn fast this language. But of course it takes time. It takes time like everything else.
For sure. We decided to eat baked potato with different fillings. It's kroshka kartoshka, and this is a kind of street food in Russia. It's very, very tasty. Let's do it. You know, I'm foodie. It looks like this. I hope my guest will like it so much. I hope he likes it. And